I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Alright, so for this video, I had a bunch of my followers send in some of their board projects, and here I am at the Salt Lake Bouldering Project, and we have a Moonboard 2016 board, a Tension Board 2 mirror setup, and the big Kilter Board. It's 16 by 12 feet instead of 12 by 12, and I'm going to try a couple climbs on each board that people sent in and try and give them tips and go over them, and both for sending that project and for just general board climbing. So hopefully you enjoy. Alright, I think everyone knows by now that I love board climbing, but if you ask me which one is my favorite, I have a really hard time saying, because the Moonboard 2016 is one of my OG favorites. I've climbed so many climbs on that board. The Tension Board 2, this is the mirror setup. It has so many good qualities. All the holds are really comfy. You can climb on wood holds when your skin is bad. You can do climbs on both sides so that you're really well rounded. And then obviously the Kilter Board is really fun, and you can do a lot of big moves and work on power really easily and also not hurt your skin too bad. And the holds are really comfortable. So all of that aside, we'll do some climbing on all of them. Alright, this climb on the Tension Board is set at 30, and it's a classic V8. It's called Knights of Cydonia. Knights of Cydonia? Knights of Cydonia. What do you think? Is it Knights of Cydonia?
Knights of Cydonia?
Knights of Cydonia. Okay, in my mind I call it Cydonia, but it's probably Cydonia. This climb is set at 30, and it's a classic on the Tension Board, which means it's one of the climbs that has been deemed worthy of being a classic on this board. And it's set at 30 degrees, which is so vertical. I'm not used to climbing at it on 30, but it's a really cool climb. You end up going like some powerful moves through underclings, and it's really fingery. This cobble, you end up honestly cramping a lot. And the crux is kind of the end, where you have quite a few options. You can go straight up left hand, you can go up right hand and then go left hand, you can go left hand and bump. So I think we'll kind of go through all those options and see which one is the best and what I think and why I think they're the best. Okay, we freestyled a little bit there, but I think it was good if you like high feet, what I did. If you don't like high feet, I'll try and do it another way. A couple things compared to the video that Caroline sent me. She uses this lower foot, and these feet are just really finicky on the Tension Board. They have a lot of these like really scooped feet that take a lot of tension, ironically, and precision. And so I actually ended up standing on this one, which just has like this in-cut, and it's a flatter edge, a little less slippery, it's a little less covered in rubber. And so I liked this foot for that move better, because you're able to dig in a little bit more, which is honestly key on almost all board climbs. You need to be able to dig with your feet and drive off the feet. Okay, we workshopped the best beta, and I think I was wrong before. And so I'm gonna try it lower foot and without the really high ending foot. Honestly, they feel about the same. So I think whichever you're more comfortable with. If you're shorter like me, I recommend the high foot. If you're taller, really the key is like digging your foot into here and really keeping the pressure on your toe as you're going so it doesn't slip. You could see on that go too, my right foot slipped because I wasn't thinking about it while I was getting my foot up, and it's so easy to make that happen. You'll often see really good board climbers put their toe on something and kind of like wiggle it on, and I think that really gets like, one, it's mental. It helps you be like, yes, it's set on there, it's in the right spot, it's sticking. But then also, I do think it actually helps you like think about pressing your foot into the hold as much as possible, and then you've thought about it, you've done it, and then you keep thinking about it as you're doing the move. Because something that a lot of people do is they forget about the foot as they start going, and that's when you have those foot slips, and that makes you not get to the hold. Yeah. Thanks, Caroline, for sending in the video of Knights of Cydonia. You look really strong on it. I think you look really good through the beginning. Your footwork through the cross through is really good. But then your right foot pops, right before you do like the setup move for the hard move, which I think if you can keep that foot on, it's gonna really help. Like I had the same problem and it made the next move honestly way harder after my foot popped because you're worse on the holds, you like slide a little bit, you lose some of that body tension. And so keeping that foot on will probably really help, which I know you can because you were really close to keeping it on. And then for the big move up, it's honestly kind of the same advice, like really try and drive through the left foot and keep that foot on, just because the hold is gas stoned, your hand just slides right off if you hit it with your feet cut. So it looks like your fingers are plenty strong enough, and I'm sure if that was a down pull in your foot cut, you'd be totally fine. But yeah, keeping that foot on will help a lot. And you can play around with those high feet that I tried too, because that beta definitely works, and it's just gonna be whatever suits your style better. Okay, the board's back at my favorite angle. We're comfortable again. We're not climbing 30, we're climbing at 45 now. Okay, this climb is called Swims. It's V9 at 45 degrees. It's set by a team in Colorado, like a youth team, so that's why we're putting it in the video. And it looks cool and interesting. I can't quite tell what the best beta is gonna be. It seems like there's gonna be some crossing under. I'm assuming you're not allowed to match, but we'll see what we think is the best beta once we try it. I just realized what you're supposed to do. It's definitely feet first. At the beginning. Because I was like, what are these for? Why are these on? That makes more sense. That was hard, actually, how I did it. All right, I see now that the setters tried to force a bat hang. I did cheat it by getting a tweeze. A tweeze is a really good board technique, honestly. It's where you like put both feet on a hold and you squeeze it. And I honestly use that technique all the time to like just get more like push off of something and also pulling yourself into the wall. Because on something like this, if you tweeze it well, you can like, just show you. You can like fully pull yourself into the wall, which obviously can come in handy quite a bit. All right, I'm gonna do this better. I'm gonna get lost. Oh. I think my beta originally was easier, but that was pretty cool. One of the things I can think of as a good advice is people tend to be really bad at cross unders, and I would think that I'd be really bad at rose moves because of my back and they're being really twisty, and I obviously can't twist very well. But I think because I can't twist very well, I've gotten really good at a technique that I think works for everybody, where you need to isolate one hand, grab with the other hand, then isolate that hand and let go of this hand. I think people try and like get too stuck like in this, and then they're just stuck crossed and they can't move. But if you isolate and then get as far under as you can, then isolate this hand as much as possible and then unwind, that's like how I think about doing those moves, which really helps. Matt, who climbs, sent me this. That's his Instagram. And he was the one who inspired me to make a board video about beta because he was asking for advice on this climb, Battle of the Pudge, which is a very infamous Moonboard V7 benchmark, and it's just hard. I've had multiple people actually over the years ask me for beta on this climb, and so we'll climb it and talk about it because I think I have some good tips, but I also definitely use short beta, so we'll see. This is Battle of the Pudge. The beginning, honestly, is just setup, and the whole climb really revolves around this move to E6, which is the cube hold that's kind of three-fingered, and you just come at it so fast, and so this whole climb kind of revolves around how slowly can you do that move so that you can hit E6 well. All right, I think two things between my first and my second go on that. First go, I just tried to like stay really tight and just go for it, and then that just made my knee hit the wall, made me come out from the wall. I shorted myself, I didn't get the distance. On the second go, I used the technique that's like a small bounce. So like as I went like bounce and then up, and it just lets you like really stay kind of airy on your feet and also get that moment of of weightlessness so that you can actually aim at a hold and grab it. Okay, so this is Matt's beta. He's definitely taller than me, and so he keeps these lower feet for the beginning, or for this hard move. But I do think he can still benefit from the bounce. He starts, if you look, like really far right, so his left arm's straight. But I think if you get more under it and then kind of go more for a straight up, that'll really help. Because that's what having that high foot does, is it lets me go like more in a straight line, straight towards that E6 crux hold. But with this one, like you're already seeing his leg swing way out by the time he hits that, and that's gonna make grabbing that hold way harder. And so kind of shifting left so that you're more under it, and then utilizing that bounce so that you can have that more like weightless moment, probably would make it so that you don't need that high foot if you can't use the high foot. This climb is called Vurt. It's a V8 benchmark on the Moonboard 2016. It uses all of my least favorite holds on the wall, so I have done it before, but we'll see if it goes today. You are allowed to match on the Moonboard. Common misconception that you think you're not allowed to match. I aesthetically like not matching, but I think this climb you really have to, so I'm gonna match. Also, people a lot of times meat wrap this hold, but again, aesthetically I don't like it and it hurts my hand, so. Yay. Ray's over there like this. There's a double tweeze on this one. First you tweeze this hold to match up here, and then you tweeze on both of them to get that last big jump. So you gotta start. First tweeze. I did double toes, and I think she's probably a similar size to me, and it just gets you a slightly bigger distance. And again, you're tweezing to keep your hips into the wall, but on this one, you're tweezing on two different holds, not on the same hold. Well, actually, you tweeze on, it's a big tweeze boulder. You tweeze on the first hold to get over, and then you tweeze between both holds. She does the heel to tweeze, and then I jump. Man, I did a bad job explaining that. Okay, Jessie sent this climb in. She's a super strong board climber, board enthusiast from the South. She has a whole Instagram dedicated to her board climbing. Jessie is bored, so shouting her out. And she looks really good on this climb. The main thing is that she uses a heel to do the last move and tries to jump out of the heel. And I really think that the double toes help a lot, especially if you're shorter, like I think we are similar sizes, just because you're able to keep your feet tweezing and applying pressure for as long as you can as you're going on that last move, because that second to last hold is so bad that you want to keep your feet on for as long as possible to get your best like boost off that hold. And just the heel, you can see it just shorts her as she goes for the finish, so she doesn't quite get the distance. But I think, just turning this to a toe and tweezing between them, and she'll get the distance for sure. I do think the heel is really a lot better for matching. Like, you're gonna feel way better on black, but the toes just make the next move so much easier. So sometimes you have to sacrifice comfort on one move for doing the next move, because otherwise that comfort is gonna trap you and not let you do the next move. What do you think of a tweeze?
A tweeze? In which situation?
Where you tweeze with your feet.
I'm losing the ball. So like, give me a.
Like, you know when you take both your toes and you tweeze the holds?
So like,
Are you a fan?
Depends on the situation. Do I need to tweeze? Or is it better
What
to
is
like...
a tweeze good for?
What is a tweeze good for? A tweeze is really good when you're like super steep wall and you got a pinch. The tweeze is awesome.
So it keeps your hips in?
The tweeze is great on like, I've been seeing a lot on comp slabs.
Oh yeah, where you tweeze on a volume.
Yeah.
You like be like this and squeeze the volume between your feet like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a tweeze too.
Dude, I'm a big fan of the tweeze.
I used to like one arm in crimps because that made me feel strong.
Yeah.
And it was
Arm
just
pogo
like,
maybe?
yeah.
Arm pogo?
But now I am retired and I don't board climb anymore.
Don't listen
I
to him.
only set rocks.
He's gonna climb with me again.
Yeah, actually in 2 weeks.
I like an arm pogo actually. I feel like that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When you're on a crimp and you just like use your other arm to generate momentum.
This is
I
my
always-
favorite. This one, or this.
So gas down
Anytime
all
you
the
have
way
to gas down above your head, and then like just take it all the way down.
I was always into stuff that I was bad at, so just like ISOing a hold and like looking like Zach Gallo.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
like when you can let
Blowing
go
a move.
of your feet and your hands and just stay like
Anything that makes any standby.
And you look
people
back at
that
the
are
audience.
Like, whoa!
What about the one where you like jump to a crimp and then you just stop in this position?
You stop like
Yeah,
this.
the 90.
Or just like
It's
the
like a
like
hero swing.
yeah, you like hit it in the like least efficient way possible and then just stop.
Stop all body movement.
And then you like
one
look
hand.
around
And then you campus like
and then
this.
you do the next move.
Anything with one hand that makes you look strong.
Yeah.
I like to
I
look
agree.
strong.
Okay, the main thing watching their video is that okay, yeah, they go left foot and then flag under for the last move. And I really think switching to right foot, what I did at the top, just made that last move really controlled. Because there it just shorts and like kind of the line of where their body is goes over the foot and then that pops. But if you can switch to right foot, you can just control that last move. So I'll do that last move one more time. Yeah, if you're left foot here, it's just the balance is all off. If you switch to right foot, you can get under this hold and then cross. I think that makes a big difference for that last move, so hopefully that change can make you send. Also, PSA, do not always try things from the beginning. Start them in the middle, do the ending, try single moves, use a cheating hold. Cheating is key to getting better at board climbing. So if you're falling on this move, try moving your hand in one, or try using a better foot. Or if you're falling on this move, like, use a bump hold, do all sorts of things. Make the climb to your level so that then you can make it harder. If you also find that you're always falling on like the last moves of boulders that you really feel like you can do, or even if that move feels easy in isolation but you just can't do it from the bottom, it might be that you need more power endurance. And what I'd recommend for that is doing a grade lower than what you're projecting, or maybe 2 grades lower than what you're projecting, and trying to do it a couple times in a row, and like maybe ending your session with that a few times a week, because that'll just really gain a lot of base and a lot of power endurance so that you don't like lose it at the very end of your climb. Okay, this one is called Weaklings Gonna Be Weak, which hopefully I won't be. And it's a V10 at 50 on the Kilter Board. It looks like the second to last move is really hard. You jump kind of one-handed to a crimp off of a pinch. And so I really think that's the main move I'm gonna focus on. And on that type of thing, I usually just focus at squeezing really hard the bottom hand, because the anchor hand is really what lets you control a jump like that, like the hand that's anchoring you to the wall while you're jumping. So we'll see.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I've been trying to get better at 3, and I'm still bad at 3.
Oh,
Thanks.
oh yeah.
Nice. I think I did hit this better that time, and just knowing that the launch position was going to be awkward helped, but then just squeezing as hard as possible and jumping as hard as possible, because it is far. Ideally, I would have hit it slightly better though too. I did hit it with 3 fingers, which I'm not a fan of. So I really think 2 key things that people do wrong on the boards often is forgetting about their anchor hand and forgetting about their foot. So like one of the very first climbs we did on the tension board today, it was all about keeping your mind on your foot and really pressing with your foot. And then the other thing is when you're doing a big move especially, anchoring your hand and thinking about that bottom hand instead of thinking about the hold that you're grabbing to as much is really important. People tend to start thinking about the hold they're gonna grab and just completely forget about this bottom hand. But like anchoring it in, pulling it down, and pulling it in are all really, really important to sticking a move. Okay, I think what it is they're really strong on the pinch, but they're not pulling it in quite as much as you need to, because honestly their anchor hand stays on all the way until they fall basically. So I do think it's anchored really well, but maybe it's just like experimenting with where you're pulling into, because sometimes moves are best if you keep your arm straight, sometimes moves are best if you keep your arm in, and so those are some of those things that you can change between tries to see what's going to work best for the individual move and for your style as well. Some people are really dangly, some people are really like 90-degree climbers. I'm definitely more of an in-between, like 120 and 90, so I like to be bent. But this move, I think I really felt like I pulled myself straight into the wall. I hope you guys liked that video. I had a lot of fun climbing all these. I love board climbing and want to make a lot more board climbing videos, so if you have any ideas or things you want to see or things you want to learn, let me know and comment them below and like and subscribe and all that, because YouTube is hard and I don't quite get it yet, but keep watching.